Green Thumb Industries jumping nearly 30% this week after reporting third-quarter earnings that saw revenues jump by nearly 50% year-over-year as it expands into Virginia and Rhode Island. This comes as more and more markets are opening up. Marijuana is now fully legal in 18 states, with major additions like New York and New Jersey. But recent skepticism from Wall Street has given some investors pause, J.P. Morgan even going so far as to restrict trading in some marijuana-related businesses. Joining us now is Green Thumb Industries CEO Ben Kovler. Ben, great to have you with us. Good to see you again.
Hi, Melissa. Thanks for having me.
I want to first talk about what really drove stocks this week, starting from last Friday, and that is this leaked legislation which would deschedule marijuana. And I'm wondering what you're hearing about that, what the status of that is in your view.
Sure. Thanks. To be really candid, I'm not hearing a lot. We're focused inside the business on the execution, and what's going to happen in D.C. doesn't have a ton of impact on the ground for American consumers. But the business and the stock are often not connected. And I think that's what you've seen. So there's optimism. There's going to be a press conference on Monday, and we'll be tuning in.
Yeah. I mean, I know you're focused on the business, but this could have serious implications for your business in terms of how you operate and how you are traded. And this sort of dovetails that bit of news earlier this week about some brokerages, some prime brokers limiting the trading activity of U.S. List or U.S. cannabis stocks, whether they're listed here or in Canada. And I'm wondering, in your view, how much of the floodgates do open when marijuana is descheduled?
Sure. It's a great question. And there's always noise in the capital markets and banks and things like that. I think the key with Green Thumb is we've built the business to prosper independent of federal change. We are not waiting for the cusp of change in order to do something, which means serve tens and hundreds of thousands of customers every day with branded product. At the same time, the fact that Green Thumb Industries is not listed on the New York Stock Exchange does not make any sense. We're an American company employing thousands of Americans, and U.S. cannabis companies should be listed on U.S. exchanges, available for U.S. investors at places like Robinhood and otherwise. So as the federal government gets around to doing that, and we think first and foremost, before banking and before listing, should be get the 40,000 people out of jail who are in jail related to cannabis, then things can start moving. But on the ground, the business is extremely strong, a lot of growth, profitability. We have free cash flow from operations, and we're very excited about the future.
Your margins are also outpacing your peers, according to a lot of analysts who cover you. And I'm wondering, what is the driver of that, especially at a time when across industries, whether it be cannabis or retail or what have you, margins are getting compressed because of things like wage inflation and cost of transport is higher, energy costs, et cetera. How do you keep those costs in check?
Yeah, certainly those latter factors are important for us. But if you just zoom out, we're investing on the verge of prohibition 2.0. The cannabis industry is going to be a $80 billion industry in the U.S. And so we've been focused since I started the business in 2014 on the return on invested capital and how do we turn 1 into 3 into 5 and create that momentum. And I think you're seeing that start to begin to show up in our business. It's going to show up in where the capital is going and what's going to happen in the U.S. in 2023, 2024, and beyond. And in terms of the current term margins, which I think is your question, we are 100% focused on high-quality branded product that American consumers really like and can trust.
In terms of understanding the opportunity, and you gave us a big number when it comes to being the next prohibition, Ben, how key is federal decriminalization or descheduling of marijuana to that estimate?
For Green Thumb, it's not.
Okay.
Look at a state like Colorado, where its run rate, over $2 billion now year in and year out. You're seeing state governors, Republicans and Democrats, in favor of huge state tax revenue. Cannabis industry is producing larger state taxes than alcohol state taxes and massive job creation. So what happens in D.C., like I've said, is a trailing indicator. The real action is with the governors and in the states where people want jobs and American consumers want cannabis for well-being.
All right, Bruce, great to see Ben, great to see you. Thanks so much. Green Thumb's up 8% right now.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.